the problem.
It's almost like the less we do that, the less people know how to take that in.
Right.
Too.
And so now we haven't done it for a long time. Now we've got a whole generation that doesn't know how to even hear something like that, let alone feels they should never have to hear anything like that. And so everybody's super fragile. They don't know how to take feedback. They don't know how to take responsibility for themselves. They don't know how to be accountable for their own behavior.
And they don't know how to be okay with
They don't want to, and you can't make them. We've created generations of people, God help us, that are largely unable to learn, and they're unchangeable. That's a real problematic thing to think about. We've created at least 2 generations of human beings that are unable to learn, unable to grow, unable to change. They just can't. Because the only way it's ever going to happen to them is if it falls out of the sky and lands on them in exactly the way that works for them, so that they don't ever have to feel anything negative or uncomfortable or anything like that.
That's not how that
and
works.
Newsflash, change never happens like that. So 0 change. So we've got, so what does that mean for mental health in America? Well, it means that we've created a permanent class of people with mental health issues that are non-amenable to learning and change. They're permanently problem focused. They're permanently exactly where they are. They are permanently short of an accident or short of an environment that they cannot control, where they're actually forced to change.
Like a change of culture, or
some radical thing could happen to them.
They'd have to get ugly.
Right. It would be very unpleasant, because that's what it would take now to get them past everything we're just talking about. You would have to force them. That's the only way it will happen. And can you imagine the reaction to that? Can you imagine the reaction not only from that person,
right?
Because you can see when this is what happens when people are moving through the world and somebody around them does try to force them to take responsibility for themselves at work. Holy crap, next thing you know, they're home doing TikToks. My boss was bullying me, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and then their boss is an asshole, and then the world closes in on that poor schmuck, and we've created a world in which the amount of love and caring and time that it would take to try to change that person is almost impossible. No one's willing to go through it. There's a precious few people in the world that are willing to stick it out through that.
Right.
And the more time goes on, the less people even have the skills to do that with another human being. It's one of the things that I spend a lot of time doing, is making sure people still know how to do this. They still can see things in a useful way, and they still have a skill set which allows them to give feedback and hopefully walk that person toward a learning and change of some kind.
Right.